I'm here with Andy Willoughby, inventor, mathematician, and maybe most interestingly, ex-carny.
But they make movies about that.
Right on, I was going to say. But Andy, you invented the chord teacher, and it'll eventually change the world. Do you think it'll do it in this lifetime?
I've already changed the lives of many people. Thousands of people have these. Tell me how much better they can play their guitar,
including me.
Easier it is to learn, and how much better. And they're teaching their teachers the stuff that's on the chord teacher here. So it's all based on math, and how I discovered this originally. A friend of mine who I go to church with taught me all the things on this line here are 300-year-old rules of music harmony, which is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In this case, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And then my piano teacher tells me the most important thing to know, and it's easiest to see in the key of C. We're going over that note, that's called a step. We're going over this note, it's called a step. And then we go to the note immediately next door, that's called a half step. Go over a note is a step. Over a note, step. Over a note, step. And then we go to the note next door, it's called a half step. Some people call that whole, half, whole, half. So I'm teaching this to my kids about the steps and the half steps. And we're at the chord D minor, which is the notes D, F, and A. And then on my chord teacher, all of the minors are on this style here. So we spin our root to the D. This tells us the notes of D, F, and A. But I didn't have the chord teacher at this point. I'm just teaching my kids. And I'm telling them to get from D to F to A, that they have to do a step, and then a half step, and then a step, and a step. So I'm telling my kids, start here. Count 2 notes for the step. Count 1 note for the half step. Count 2, count 2. That'll keep us all on the white notes. So my youngest daughter, she was in kindergarten. She goes like this. She goes, 1, 2, 3. And I said, no, honey, it's not 3. It's a 2 and then a 1, meaning a step and a half step. And my daughter climbs up on my piano bench. She gets this far from my nose. She says, my teacher told me that 2 + 1 is 3. I believe her. She's shaking. She's this far from my nose. She gave me a look that only 4 other women on the planet can give me. Her sister, her mother, my mother, my grandmother. No! She let me live to tell this story. And I went, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. The minor chords is 0. +3 +4. The major chords are different. 0 +4 +3. And the suspended 4th chord is your root note +5 +2. And the difference is the middle note and where that's placed because of the different flavor of the chord. So I started doing the math because I have nothing better to do with my time. And so as time was going on, I realized one day that I could put the math for the music chords in circles. The dials that are on my chord teacher are right here. But I want you to keep your eye focused here and here. All of our 3-note chords form perfect little mathematical triangles, and our 4-note chords, trapezoids. When we're playing music, we don't need to know any of this math at all, but what we're literally hearing is mathematical shape, spacing of the notes, and where they are spaced in an octave or key. For instance, I'm taking this chord here, A major, A, D, E, D, A. I just took this triangle of notes and went A, D, E, D, A, D, E, D, A. You'll often oftentimes see guitarists. The guitarists to be playing what they call a bar chord. So they're holding their one finger against, and they got some shape here, and they're strumming away. And they don't move their fingers, but they move their hand up 5 frets, and then up 2 frets, and down 2 frets, all the way down, not moving their fingers. And again, taking a shape on one of these chords, and usually just going up 5 frets, up 2, down 2, and then all the way back down to its root. A moment ago, we did the A major, D major, and C major, and we'll dial up the different octaves, the different notes of the different keys of octaves and keys. Putting this to A, and I did the chords A major, D major, and E major as I went. All 3 notes of all of those 3 chords mathematically fit perfectly into that shape with all of these mathematical characteristics, but we don't need to know this math at all. We just need to know where to put our fingers, and this is what the chord teacher is all about, is to help us figure out where the notes are. Say we're looking at our sheet music and we have this chord here, B with that little M7, for instance. I'm going to find the M7 on the chord teacher here, right here. M7 means it's a minor 7 chord. We're going to spin the root around to the B. Notes of B, D, F sharp, A. There's B, D, F sharp, A. B, D, F sharp, A. B, D, F sharp, A. Slide the top underneath the guitar strings, and then B, D, F sharp, A. Find the notes of the chord, slide it out. There's the chord right there, and we're playing a trapezoid.
Wow.
Who cares? We don't need to know. But everything that we hear is mathematical. So, say we're playing a song, and all of a sudden somebody makes a mistake, and you hear how that, it doesn't, what's happening is the math's not laid out perfectly in our octave or key, and you throw a note or two out of place, and you can hear it. We hear that mistake. We're really hearing a mathematical, what do we call it? The math's not done right. It's a mistake, and we hear it.
Absolutely sensational.
Yeah.
Wow.
So then, Nikola Tesla would say, if you only knew the magnificence of the 369, you would hold the keys to the universe. And keys in this case is a pun. It just so happens that the angles, here's the dials on my chord teacher here. All of the angles that form the outside arc, the inside angles, every single one of these angles of every one of those chords, say for instance 90 degrees, 9 plus 0 equals 9. Let's say 120 degrees, 1 plus 2 plus 0 equals 3. Or 180 degrees, for instance, would be, 1 plus 8 plus 0 equals 9. Every angle of every chord and the octave, the notes reduced down to the numbers 3, 6, 9. If only you knew the magnificence of the 3, 6, 9, you'd hold the keys to the universe. We live in a mathematical world. We hear,
everything's pure math. Amazing. Yeah. So you're literally breaking down the building blocks of reality.
Well, sound waves.
Sound waves. So everything's vibration. It's amazing.
Every rock and roll song that I heard on the radio back in the 1970s, and all the broken-hearted country western songs, is basically in the code here. So then, what do you think of when you hear the word octave?
8?
Yeah.
Octopus?
I'm thinking octopus. And a stop sign, for instance, has 8 sides, 8 points. There's our octave here. The arms on the octave, so our octave are C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. is actually a 7-sided heptagon with 7 points. It has 7 arms to it. It's not 8, it's 7. We've been lied to. And then again, there's a whole bunch of different math, and adding up the spaces between the notes and stuff all adds up to either 360 degrees. That's 3 plus 6 plus 0, 9. 12 o'clock, 12 hours in here. 1 plus 2 is 3. It's all numbers.
Stunning. Did people know that the octave was 7-sided ever before you?
Yes. When I first started doing the math, and I'm finding these triangles and these trapezoids, everybody I'm showing was shocked. My piano teacher, he told me to talk to a bunch of Eastman School of Music professors. I'm showing every musician and everybody's like, their eyes are popping out of their head. They're saying, Andy, I can't believe this. That's so cool. Then I get down to the Eastman School of Music with this and the mathematical discoveries of what I've done over the years. Chairman of the music theory department knew just about all of the sets of math here. However, he never really thought about it like a barcode, which is kind of like this here. And computers running on ones and zeros known as binary. I thought it was like a binary system. It's not actually binary. It's a 12-number system. But all of these angles and stuff, he knew all of that, but he did not know the inside angles of the triangle, but he did know the outside. So 3 of those things I came up with totally on my own. The rest of that stuff, he knew those angles, but he was the first, one of the only people I talked to. But you look at YouTube videos, you can find this kind of, a lot of people have been doing this stuff, and there's a lot of YouTube videos about, the shapes of chords and stuff like that. So I had to put all of that into my patent and stuff like that. Odd set of circumstances. So one of the things I had to do to get a patent is I had to do something that no one else had done. And to figure out the science part of my music project, and to space out all the notes, doing all the math and stuff. And at the time, I didn't really know much about music myself. This is 28 years ago that I started this project, although I've been playing music ever since I was a teenager. But I did not know these rules that I was talking about earlier, but I had to get a patent. So one of the things I did is I added additional note names, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z, to get rid of the sharps and the flats and the flats and the sharps and double sharps, double flats, F flat, all that, just to give it some order. So that was one of the things that I did to make it unique enough. Wow. Also, when I was patent searching, you have to make sure that you're not reinventing the wheel, so to speak. So you got to patent search to make sure nobody else has had a patent. So I was really kind of disappointed when I found out that other people, some in the 1700s, several people in the 1800s, basically had a piece of wood with a tin dial with the notes written around on the wood with do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do on a tin dial that you could spin around, doing exactly what I've done here. But what made mine unique and patentable is my dial was clear. Everybody else had a piece of tin, you could not see through it. So, and also I put in my patent all of the history, and we said very, very few people know that there was no black notes 1,000 years ago.
Wow. Yeah. No black keys.
No black keys. Music starts out with just our natural notes. No sharps, no flats 1,000 years ago. Now the reason that they call middle C is 1,000 years ago our music staff was 11 lines and 10 spaces. The middle line was the note C, but they erased the middle line. They had a high C, low C, middle C was the middle line, and then eventually they spread them apart. So there's no sharps, no flats on the original music staff, and everybody gets very used to the key of C going C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. No sharps, no flats. They don't know but they are calling it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. In this case, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And they're playing 3-note chords, but they don't know that they're playing major chords, minor chords. They don't know that they're playing a diminished chord. They're just playing every other note. Everybody's happy. 3-note chords, triad chords. And they're also playing 4-note chords, every other note. They're playing what they call 7th chords, your root, your 3rd, 5th, and 7, every other note. And everybody's happy until the year 1025. German guy by the name of Guido of Azerio, living over in Italy, I believe, over in Germany. Instead of starting at C and going do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, starts at F. Goes do, re, mi, and that does not harmonize well. Clashes, doesn't sound good at all. He discovers that there's got to be a note between A and B, and he finds the note B flat in the year 1025. That sounds so much better there. And the reason that's important is on New Year's Eve, and we're all singing na 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 na. That sounds terrible. But you flatten the B to the new note that he discovered. That sounds pretty. Na, 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 na. Sounded a lot better than this. They get saws out and they cut out chunks between the A's and B's, but raised notes, new valves, more pipes on the pipe organ. This happens in the year 1025, and he's very famous for this. Now, Guido of Azerio, who finds the note B flat, calls his brand new note B and renames B natural H. 1,000 years later, the Germans still call this H, they still call B flat B. No room for the brand new note on the music staff, so what they would do when they wanted to use B flat, also known as B flat and soft B, they would put a note on B's line with a little B next to it, and when they wanted to use B natural, which they're calling H, they would put a note on B's line with an H next to it, and the H became the natural sign later on in time. Very, very few people know this. About 3% of the people I talk to, that includes music teachers, most of them don't even know all this stuff. So anyway, so now we've got an extra note, but there's no room for the new note that Guido had found in the year 1025. So what they did is when they wanted to use B flat, also known as B flattened and soft B, they would put a note on B's line there. So with the chord teacher octave dial, if we point towards the one flat, we are now in the key of F. And our notes are F, G, A, B flat, new note, C, D, E, F. Now I know the order of the next notes found, and I've been asking around for 20 some odd years who found the next black note, which would have been F sharp. I know the order of the notes found, but I haven't found anybody who could tell me who found them, what years, what countries and stuff. But somebody starts at the note G, goes do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, and T sounds weak. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. They discover there's got to be a note between F and G that sounds better. And so they find F sharp, called it F sharpened at the time. They get saws out and they cut out chunks between the F's and G's, but raised notes, new valves, more pipes on the pipe organ. Again, there's no room for that brand new note on the music staff. So what they would do when they wanted to use F sharp, known as F sharpened, they would put a note on F's line and then they would put a hashtag right next to it.
There we go.
Oops. Pound sign?
Pound sign.
Oops. If our music has one sharp, we point this arrow towards the one sharp. It's now the key of G. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. as time goes on, they find E flat, then C sharp, and then G sharp. It literally took the musicians 425 years to find these 3 sharps, those 2 flats, the 5 black notes. Now we're playing with a full deck, so to speak. But then it took another 300 years for them to figure out that some notes that were discovered as flats, decades, sometimes centuries later, the note got sharpened. Other notes that were found as sharps, originally decades, sometimes centuries later, found in another key as a flat. That's why all the black notes have 2 different names, and most music teachers don't know this stuff. That's why they have 2 different names, as they're found independently in different keys at different times, probably in different countries. I'm not sure about all that. By the 1750s, we end up with 15 key signatures for the 12 notes, and all those sharps, all those flats, overwhelmed and complicated the original system, what we call that TMI, and no one's ever straightened it out. I'm volunteering to straighten it out.
Phenomenal. Well, I think these socks would definitely help.
Oh, yeah. I wore them special for
You did.
tonight.
That's just great.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
amazing.
where do we go from here?
Okay.
So here's all of our guitar fretboard. And again, all the notes are in the colors of the rainbow. Just so happens, zoom in on that, our augmented chord, which is 120 degrees, 120 degrees, 100, forming an equilateral triangle, the shape here on my chord teacher, right here, is the colors of the rainbow. Yellow, red, and blue, the primary colors are here with these. Turn it 60 degrees, and there's the secondary colors being orange, violet, and green. And then the 2 sets of tertiary colors are here right underneath the augmented chord dial. Now, artists like to use what they call a split complementary color, and it just so happens the suspended fourth just happens to be the shape of that. So say, for instance, you're painting with yellow-orange. Blue and violet would be the split complementary colors. Or say, for instance, we're painting something in blue-violet. Orange and yellow would go good with those colors.
On that, I'm just blown away with Andy. Your
your
invention is so useful.
I had to pay extra for the my graphic artist to do the artwork for that, but I didn't have to pay for the ink, so everyone,
Amazing.
And I figured, well, so then here, in the color-coded guitar fretboard here, all of our notes of the guitar, all color-coded, labeled.
That's wonderful.
Now, the easiest guitar chord in the world, and one of the very first guitar chords everybody learns, is E minor. These notes are E, G, B. Here's E, G, B. Now, if I take my E and I put it up top here, and then if I take the G and put it up on top, it's still the same 3 notes, but played in a different order, called an inversion. The chord teacher makes 504 different chord inversions, and I'm only charging 7 cents a chord. Do I sound like an infomercial yet? Oh, wait, there's more. Order by midnight, you get them back for free, but you must order by midnight. Supplies are limited. Operators are on duty as long as my cell phone battery has not died. Our sheet music is going to have a key signature. So we're looking at this song here, and the key signature right here has 4 sharps. So on the back of the chord teacher, there's all of our different key signatures here, and we're going to find the 4 sharps are here. We point this arrow towards those 4 sharps. It's the key of E. These 300-year-old rules are do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the step, step, has step, is all on this dial here. With 4 sharps, it is E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E. Whoop. And then it shows us around the outside which chords are minors, which ones are majors. With 4 sharps, we have, starting here is E major, F sharp major or minor, G sharp minor, A major, B major, C sharp minor, D sharp diminished, E major. And whether we're playing in sharps or we're playing in flats, we're usually using these 300-year-old rules. And when we're not using those 300-year-old rules, we're jazzing it up using extra notes, and that's what all of these other dials are for. A lot of rock and roll songs, hip hop songs, gospel songs are what they call 1-4-5 songs, and they're usually 3 major chords. All the broken-hearted country western songs are usually 3 minor chords, unless you got your heart broken really bad, and then then they're minor 7th chords.
God.
I guess my piano teacher he gave me 13 piano lessons. I've been playing music since I was a teenager, but I did not know these rules here. We'll get into that in a minute. And I asked my piano teacher, I said, well, what's the difference between a major chord and a minor chord? And he says, the major chord sounds nice and bright and happy, and then he says the minor sounds sad, has a different feel to it. And then he started playing a couple of songs, playing them majors and minors and stuff. To give you an example, we're playing Mozart's biggest hit with, here, I'm going to put this right here so we can zoom in at it. C major, C, E, and G. Twinkle, twinkle. And then it goes F, F, A, C, F, A, and C. Little. And then we turn the dial back down to C, C, E, and G. Star. It goes up to F, F, A, and C, F, A, and C. Goes back down to C, C, E, G. And then it goes up to G, G, B, and D. Watch you down to up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. That's done in the majors. If we do it in minors, it's in a different spectrum part of the harmony and stuff, but it has a whole different feel to it. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I watch you.
That first note made me feel like I might have been tied to the railroad track for a second.
There's railroad tracks right around the corner when you do that. I'll film you.
I know, seriously. That'll go viral.
And it's a difference in shape. Now,
Yeah.
the major, 4 plus 3 is 7. The minor, 3 plus 4 is 7. And they've both formed scaling triangles. They have both, all of the angles on the, it's just kind of a flip of that triangle. But why does one sound happy and the other one sounds sad?
Yeah, that's amazing.
I don't know why, but it's the same shape.
Wow.
4 plus 3, 3 plus 4. No.
It's there.
It's there. We hear it. We're hearing the difference between numbers and relationships of those numbers. And
Amazing. Action.
so across the top of the chord teacher here's our guitar fretboard. I had this out for many years, and this girl comes up to me one day. She says, "Did you know on your guitar fretboard at the 5th fret, your ukulele strings, G, C, E, A, your ukulele starts here at the 5th fret. Those 4 strings are." I says, "No, I did not know that." because I don't play stringed instruments. I'm a piano player.
Yeah.
But I asked a friend of mine who plays guitar, and he plays ukulele. I said, so is the ukulele there at the 5th fret, the G, C, E, A, which is, my dog has fleas. He says to me, he says, Andy, he says, if you didn't know that the ukulele was there on your guitar, he says, you probably didn't know that a baritone ukulele uses these 4 strings, open strings, D, G, B, E. So it does a baritone ukulele, 6 and 12 string guitars. I did know that the bass guitar, E, A, D, G, on your regular guitar, a bass guitar is the same strings notes, but 1 octave lower.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You have so much information on these.
Yeah.
I'm so impressed.
There's 1,000 years of music history, theory, math. You don't need to know the history. You don't need to know the theory. You don't need to know anything. You just need 3 or 4 chords. And
Wow.
the sheet music tells us what to do. Say, for instance, we need the chord A with a sus, which is going to mean it's a suspended fourth. Go to the suspended fourth dial. It's A. Take the root, put it to A. And the notes are A, D, E. A, D, E. And then, it's forming this isosceles triangle with all of this math that, again, we don't even know that. Oh, I was going to mention earlier.
Yeah.
So, my old girlfriend at the time who helped me write my patent, and she was a fantastic piano player, Pink Floyd fan too. And she knew how to play just about every Pink Floyd song there was. But anyway, she helped me write my patent, and it was really encouraging because not too many people understand me and stuff, but saw my potential. Helped me write my patent, so we get these, and the day that these came off of the press, and I had mentioned earlier how I had taken the note names, all of the sharps, the flats, and added additional names, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z, to add extra additional names to the original notes. I get to her house, she says, Andy, I got to show you something, but I'm going to wait until after the dinner at dessert. I'm going to show you something that's going to shock you. So I watched. No, I'm not going to tell you. So after dinner, she brings this up. This was in the paper the very day that I got these. It's how come the piano notes stop at G? There are plenty of keys to go all the way to Z.
There it is.
I looked at it. The hair, the back of my neck stood on end. It was like, is this this is a sign from God. That,
Yeah.
Anyway, she was a wonderful Pink Floyd fan, musician and stuff, and she taught me quite a lot of things about music and stuff. Just part of the story, part of the journey.
I like it.
So I want to change the world of music forever, and I already am. I'm making a huge difference with the chord teacher. Makes 504 different chord inversions, and most songs are just 3 or 4 chords. All of the notes of all of the chords of all of the keys at your fingertips on guitars, pianos, ukuleles, but it's applicable to any musical instrument, or if you're a singer, chord teacher at chordteacher.com. And I'm Andy Willoughby. Thanks for watching the video.
Off the top.
Because when you do,